right, Great Lakes Laser Supply. We are live. Let's get this feed going. Thank you for being here, guys. I appreciate it. It is Tuesday night, and we were supposed to go live on Monday night, but I forgot we were going live on the Riley Black project. So just like usual, guys, as you get here, as you come in, do me a favor, let us know where you're watching from, so that gets us out in the algorithm. Lets everybody know that we're live. Lets everybody know that you're here. So as you are coming in, definitely let us know where you're watching from. We are in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and the weather is today was probably the best weather we have had in some time. The snow had a chance to do a little melting. We've got some slush action. There we go. We are live on Facebook. The stream is out there. So yeah, let me know where you guys are watching from. Like I said, we are in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Beautiful weather today. The sun was shining. It's been sub-zero forever. Heidi, what's up? Heidi, you are crushing it. I love seeing Heidi's interaction in all the groups. What's up, Roger? Dallas, Texas, representing. If you didn't know, I actually lived in Texas for several years. I lived in Houston. I lived in Galveston, all over the place. Thank you guys for being here. Let us know where you're watching from. And while we are live, only flag hack clips are 50% off while we're live. I know it's kind of counterproductive. Go order some flag hack clips. Get those 50% off while we're live. What's up, Joe? Ithaca, Michigan. Katie, how are you? What's up, Desiree? Lynn, Southern Ohio. Over an inch and still coming down. Brian from Richmond, Indiana. I don't know if you guys saw my post just before going live, but so I helped someone out of the ditch hours ago, hour and a half maybe, and they were someone from the group. Like how crazy is that? That someone from the group is who I helped out of the ditch. What's up, Jordan? Is that your picture different? I didn't recognize you. What's up, Greg? Over in Linden, Michigan Maker Summit. Let's go. While we are live, flag hack clips are 50% off. We're going to get into some topics here. Dirt on my head. Yeah, thankfully I took a shower, but I helped Josh out of the ditch, and he was someone from the group. Pretty crazy. Nick from Greenville. We're in like a tri-city intersection where we live. We actually have 3 different school districts that come into our neighborhood. We've got Greenville across the road and Cedar Springs across the road the other way, and our address is Rockford. So we're in a crazy little spot here. So I've got some cool topics I wanted to talk about tonight. Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. I did see that. So I've got some fun topics I wanted to talk about tonight. Some things that have come up in the group. I try to post to get some interaction and get some things that people want to learn. What do they want to hear from me? What do they want to talk about? Because a lot of this stuff is even interacting from people in the group and hearing what you guys have to say. I try to post every other weekish, where are you from? And I don't say it often enough. I did now pin the post, but the where you're from post, the whole purpose of that is to connect with people that are local to you, which I think overall, it's something that, umbrellas, a lot of the things that I want to cover tonight is building that foundation of people around you so that you have some people that you can rely on, when you're in a tough spot, whether you're feeling stressed out, you're struggling with something, you need, your laser goes down and you just need help. Galveston Island, I get pulled over on that bridge going to Galveston every single time. So what are we struggling with this week? Throw it in the comments. Let us know. Are you struggling with settings? Are you struggling with a specific blank? Are you putting off trying a new laser? Let us know, what are you struggling with in the comments, because you'd be surprised that there are more people than you would think that are struggling with the same thing you are. So don't be afraid to post that, what you're struggling with, because you'd be surprised that someone else is struggling with the same exact thing. I just messed up my Facebook feed. Um, so what and also what are your wins? What's something that you feel like is going really well for you? What is going on? There we go. So Trina, she mentioned a fear of lasering her stash without a confirmed order, and a fear of waste, building show ready portfolio that connects with her customers. This is something that I can really relate to because as we pivoted from the earrings and ornaments, we didn't have a laser to laser live at the shows. We were pre-lasering everything we brought. So I would pre-laser 100 wallets. And it's a gamble. And I think it's really important to kind of know, your demographic in your area where you live, knowing what they're kind of interested in. And so that's where I think Facebook Marketplace, being involved in local yard sale groups where you can post some pictures. Maybe you post a picture of 5 variations of one item in Facebook Marketplace or in your, a local group like that. So you can see what people are interested in. You're going to see people commenting and interest, and that'll help you to almost get ready for that show. And I think that's kind of what I would do, or what we did to kind of figure out what we would do, because otherwise I was pre-engraving 100 wallets. I was nervous too, but we would do that ahead of time before we would bring a laser to shows. It was a good year and a half before we ever started bringing a laser to shows to be able to customize live. We were pre-making earrings, we were pre-engraving wallets, belts, ammo cans, all those things. So Trina's stress of lasering her stash, I can relate to that 100%. It's nerve-wracking. And on top of that, you might go to a show. There's shows that I did where we'd have $100 in sales, and it can be a big blow, to the momentum that you have going. That's where I think, having that local place where you can post some things to get interest. If you post a picture of 5, 6 things pre-engraved, you could even just do pictures of options and see what your friends think, that you have locally, and maybe they're local and they can kind of help you see what might work well. Desiree delivered a large order to a local business. That's awesome. We love business to business. What's up, Daniel? How are you? Long time no see. You don't want to figure out Lightburn, Maria? Oh my gosh, Lightburn is easy peasy. Give me all the new friends. Always down to meet new people, says Katie. Let's see, post up a little banner for the Michigan Maker Summit. Make sure you guys join the Michigan Maker Summit group. You're going to be learning a lot about our vendors, the speakers. A lot of information is going to be coming out. That's Michigan Maker Summit on Facebook. That is our Facebook group for the Michigan Maker Summit coming up March 13th and 14th. So if you guys have anything else you want to talk about for Trina or any advice for Trina, definitely throw it in the comments, because the great things about this video is as it stays live on Facebook, Trina or someone else that's struggling with the same thing, don't be afraid to throw some advice. So if you have some specific advice that you think could be valuable to Trina, about preparing for a show and not wanting to waste things, if you've got some advice, throw in the comments, because that's something that she might see later. Next up, we've got Charles. He's getting back into the laser game after a long break. He wants to know the essentials of rebranding, picking a name that sticks, refining his focus, and creating a visual identity that looks professional from day one. I think those are all really valuable things, but I think my gut says, first thing is starting. If you are like, I'm not going to start until I have the perfect logo, or I'm not going to start until I've got the perfect name, or all these little details. Next thing you know, you're pushing out starting 6 months, a year, because you're worried about some of those minute details. I would say the most important thing is starting. Before you have the perfect name, start posting stuff and figuring out what's going to sell. Before you have that perfect logo, start posting, figure out what's going to sell. We started with, I think, no logo, and then we had, a logo that we had made, and that worked really well. But I think it's important to have, but I don't think it's the most important thing. I think getting started is more important than having all those things perfect before you get going. What are your guys' opinion on that? Let me know what you guys' thoughts are on that while I talk some more. While we are live only, flag hat clips are 50% off. during the live only. Thank you, Heidi, sharing the link. I appreciate it. Christina Sams, what's up? She's going to be at the Michigan Maker Summit. Here to learn, observe, and soak it all in. Deb, let us know if you have any additional questions. Throw them in the comments, and don't be afraid to throw in opinions. And honestly, if you guys have an opinion you think is completely different, if you think that that they should have the perfect logo, the perfect brand name, all these things in place, I'm not opposed to that. Let's hear what you have to say. Heidi, link to the hack clips too. You're crushing it. Heidi, you need a raise. The big goal in March, we've got the Michigan Maker Summit coming up March 13th and 14th. And, my goal is for everyone to grow their network and have the same connections, that we have had. And I believe that those connections are why we are where we are. If it wasn't for all these people putting together the first big Michigan Maker Summit, we could have never pulled it off. But the people that came together from me sending them a text, giving them a phone call. Hey guys, I got this crazy idea. In like 3 or 4 weeks, I want to put on a mini laser conference. And the people that came together to make it happen just blows me away. I could have never pulled it off if it wasn't for each and every one of you that's here and not here. I can't even name all the people. Like the fact that Lens Digital gave away a rotary, like they didn't even know any details. There was no, hey, what's the ROI? Hey, how many people are going to be there? There was no questions like that. It was like, hey, Blake, we love what you're doing. We want to give away a rotary. Same thing from X-Tool. X-Tool is a massive company. The fact that they were willing to give away a laser for the Michigan Maker Summit, like that just means so much to me. Let's see what everybody else had to say. What's up, Roy? Better to start if it's not perfect, says Christina, and learn how to make it perfect. I agree. You're enjoying the hack clips. Thank you, Anita. I'm glad you're liking them. We love them. We are passionate about them. They are something that I love for so many different reasons. If you haven't seen Roy's YouTube video on hack clips, it is perfect. I talked to Roy and I said, hey, Roy, can you make me a hack clip video? I want to capture the ease of laser engraving, selling them, being able to put a QR code on them. I gave him all these little tidbits, and Roy took my vision and literally, there's no way I could have made the video as good myself. Roy crushed it. He brought my vision for what is a hack clip to life with that video. So if you have not seen Roy, check out Industrial Fringe on YouTube. And he has got a video. He's got a great channel, lots of good content. And he made the perfect hack clip video explaining what a hack clip is, because I think if you can learn the basics of selling a hack clip, business to business, whether that's doing individually at a craft show, learning how to sell a hack clip, you can grow the muscles that it takes to be successful with so many other products, and that are riskier. You mess up a hack clip, that's $2.19. I think there's much bigger things that you could mess up, and I think you could just kind of perfect your skills with a hack clip. What else we got going on? Roy, we got Beth. What's up, Beth? Oh, Maria, share your website. Maria's DTF uploader. She, I believe, is selling gang sheets of DTF. Heidi, thank you very much. Check out Roy on Industrial Fringe. Heidi just shared the link. He has got some great videos. Maria has got her DTF uploader. So if you want to order a gang sheet, what's up, Tracy? Hustle is the muscle. How many of you guys do I talk to on a daily basis? It is unreal. I talked to Tracy today. I met Josh for the first time, getting him out of the ditch. Like, how crazy is that? Meeting someone from the group, helping them out of the ditch. Unreal. How does that even happen? Anita, how do you figure out what settings to use on different materials? I'm new to lasering, not sure where to start. Hate to bother people with a lot of questions. Anita, that's a great question. And I think, a lot of people, especially in Great Lakes Laser Supply, we try to foster an environment where you can ask those difficult questions. And I think, one of the most important things to figure out is how to run a test grid. Believe it or not, you can run a test grid on a hack clip. Now, are you going to waste that hack clip? Yes. But We do sell wood veneers that you can put on the top of that to cover it up. Um, but you are going to waste a product sometimes. But if you reach out to me, let's say you were ordering a koozie and you didn't want to waste a koozie, I'll throw in a piece of scrap leatherette that you can get your testings dialed in on. But running that test grid, I would say, would be the most number one. Run that test grid on whatever material is, because you're going to figure out the perfect setting for what you want to accomplish. Second, post in the group and ask if people have experience with that material that you're asking about. People are going to jump in. They'll share their settings. xccreations.com, products, custom DTF gang sheet. Check out Maria's website, guys. If you need DTF transfers, Maria is doing gang sheets. I don't know any details, but I know Maria is a hustler, and she's got so much awesome equipment. I know she's going to do great things there. Burn and learn. Always run a test grid. Yes. We also, Daniel's got a new website, alivepixelcreates.com. You've got a fiber laser, so I can't do the wood veneer. Correct. Yeah. Okay. So you only have a fiber. Yep. But we also have leatherette chips that stick on these. They're alive on the website. We've got leatherette veneers that can go on the hat clips as well, that can cover up that wasted hat clip that you use to dial your settings on. We've got little leatherette chips that can cover those up. Test grids are the bomb. Every laser can vary slightly, even the same brand. It's very true. It is nice to get those settings so that you have just a hint of where you can start. But when I first met David, I gave him a hard time. We go into his shop and he opens up this drawer, and he has this drawer just absolutely full of test cards. And it's like every wood that he uses, it's every finish on the wood. It is just unreal, because he's got all these different woods that he saves. So when he's doing walnut pre-finished, he pulls out that piece of wood. And let's say he wants to go for a different look. You can tweak your settings and get a little bit of a variation in what you're wanting to do, utilizing some of those settings. But so definitely don't be afraid. I gave David a hard time, because when we started, I was not a test grid believer. I was a waste something kind of person. What's up, Will Louie in the house, aka Crazy Laser Dad, aka Mr. Starbucks, aka last year's host of the Michigan Maker Summit. You need some leatherette chips, Tammy. Message me when you place your next order. Will is in the house. What's up, Joe? Thank you for being here, Will. Long time no talk. We used to talk all the time. What, are you busy or something? I haven't called you either, though, so I can't really say anything. So I feel like we went over those topics really quickly and easily. But in case you weren't here, we touched on inventory anxiety. Trina was nervous about pre-lasering to get ready for a craft show, and I suggested posting some of those things on local Facebook groups or garage sale groups, maybe some options to get some feedback from local customers, so that she can have a better idea in her local market what may or may not sell. So if you guys have an opinion on that, throw it in the comments, because the great thing about this video is other people are going to watch this after the fact, and they'll be able to see the feedback or opinions that you guys have. So do you guys have any tips for Trina as far as getting ready for a craft show? How do you do that? How do you not waste inventory or product? Maybe you've even got some craft show tips on a show she should or should not do. I know some lessons we learned with craft shows. First year shows are not great. Now, you know that I'm a go-getter. I'm still going to make some connections. But if you are looking to purely make sales, then then I make sure that you're going to a show that's for 5 years developed, and not something that's brand new. First year shows are not going to be as busy. Let's see. Anita's got an OMTEC 50-watt fiber laser. Anita, we've got a ton of people with 50-watt fiber lasers. So post a question in the group. I think we can give you a ton of information. I've got a 30 and a 50-watt. Jeff Walls, the Michigan Maker Summit is March 13th and 14th. It's coming up quick. It is going to be awesome. Let's see. What else we got here? If you're not at the ballet, I haven't talked to you. That's my life. Crazy ballet dad. Let's connect. Follow me on Instagram. Josh is in the house. In Lightburn, these are built-in test grid, but if you message me, I do have some pre-made from Lightburn. Oh, that's awesome, Beth. I've never used a pre-made test grid. I thought you had to, I guess it makes sense. It could be a pre-made file. We always just use the test grid generator that's right in Lightburn. While we are live only, flag hat clips are 50% off. We got to keep David working. David's UV printing these hat clips for me. We got to keep him busy. I want to make sure he can feed his family. So we need to sell some more flag hat clips to keep David working, keep his brand new UV printer going. It's been really cool working through that process with David. If you haven't followed, yeah, he got a new UV printer to utilize for his business, but he also wanted to bring in some outside business to be able to keep that machine running efficiently. So I'm able to send him hat clips and wallets and things like that to keep his UV printer going. So that's been a lot of fun working through that with David. We've got Friday. David and I are starting to shoot David versus Blake content, getting ready for the next level laser conference. So we are being proactive this year. We're going to have content ready. The website's going to be ready. We're going to have the donation page for Next Step of West Michigan. That is a local charity that I really believe in. If you guys haven't checked it out, Next Step of West Michigan. I do have a donation page linked on GreatLakesLaserSupply.com. There's a link for Next Step. So if you're curious about a charity that we are passionate about, Next Step of West Michigan really has an awesome program. They got a one laser Hydra that I helped them get all set up, and that's been a good time too. Tracy, you need to get to David's new shop. It is pretty cool. We have our first track meet on the 14th. No, that's too bad, Jeff. David versus Blake. Oh, we got some good videos coming your way, guys. Maybe I'll post a sneak peek on Friday. We're gonna be at the Great Lakes Laser Supply demo room, filming content on Friday. If you guys are ever gonna be in the Rockford area, coordinate with me. We could set something up, whether it's a weekday, a weekend. If you wanted to come by to the Great Lakes Laser Supply demo room, we've got supplies there. We've got a fiber laser, we got a MOPA laser, we got a UV laser, we got a RF CO2 laser, we've got a UV laser. Did I ever say like that? I've got laser 3D printers. We've got a new Creality 3D printer that came today. Pretty exciting. I'm running a 16-hour print right now. Creality is going to have a booth at the next Michigan Maker Summit. That'll be exciting. And a partridge in a pear tree. What else you guys want to touch on? I went over the content. I honestly thought that going over those couple of things was going to take a lot longer. We also touched briefly on Charles getting back into the game after a long break. And it seems like from the comments that I saw, we unanimously think that getting started is more important than having everything perfect on day one. Because I think you can kind of paralyze yourself. And it almost brings me to a post from this week where fear is a liar. We've all got that thing, whether it's tackling your rotary, firing up a new laser that's been sitting there. You have that fear of getting started and, build that foundation, build that community around you so we can connect with each other so that, we can help get over that hump. You cannot buy into that fear. And I want us to all be able to work together to work through that fear. I've got the Creality Spark i7, I believe it's called. It's running. I have the Bamboo AMS, but I have never used it because of the filament waste. And the Creality Spark X is supposed to help that a lot because it changes the filaments at the head. It is running right now live. You have 10 Creality printers. Wow. I only have 2. I have 3 3D printers. 2 of them are Creality. I've got a Bamboo P1P. I've got a Creality High and a Creality Spark X. You're afraid of my rotary too. Anita, you don't be afraid of it. Post in the group, and we've got Don in the group. He's a great asset as far as rotaries go. But we've got a ton of people with different rotaries that you can ask questions about. People will be happy to answer them. Charles can make an announcement and re-entering saying this is what I'm doing now. Yeah, that's a good point, Desiree. 18 printers total. Wow. Just jump right in and go for the hardest thing to do first. So part of my morning ritual is my routine is morning prayer, morning meditation, and a breathing exercise. And I focus on thankfulness and gratefulness. And then I'm just telling myself, like, I'm going to do the hard things first. I'm not going to, delay doing some of those hard things, because it's really easy when you have that to-do list to knock off some of those easy things. And I used to do that because I want to build that momentum on my to-do list by crossing off some of those easy things. But what I tell myself now every single day is I'm doing those hard things first, because that honestly takes the biggest weight off of your shoulders by tackling that rotary that's been sitting there instead of putting it off. Getting that hard thing done first gives you more momentum than crossing off some of those easy things on your to-do list. Eat the frog, do the hard things first. That was from Next Level, I believe, and I was not able to get into any of the breakouts or watch the videos. I honestly don't even know if I have access to the videos. Will, do I have access to the videos? But everybody was talking about eating the frog, and I didn't know what they were talking about because I couldn't go to any of that stuff. But I would definitely agree. If that's what eating the frog is, then that is my mantra. Doing that hard thing first. The thing that's surprising to me is I used to do those easy things because I felt like it was like Dave Ramsey says, like the debt snowball, it gives you that momentum. But I feel more momentum trying to do some of those hard things first rather than building the momentum with the easy things. Maria says she hasn't heard of that. The Spark X just came out. It's been out for maybe 2 or 3 weeks, I think. Joshua says mistakes are okay, and our biggest learning opportunities. Burn some cakes. Have you gotten your Eufy yet? If so, ink. No Hannah, no Eufy. I'm moving on. Unfortunately, I really wanted to be. I wanted the Eufy to be successful. I think it was such a great unit, such a great form factor. Seeing it live, I think more than most people, I got to get hands on with it. We got to take it from the Michigan Maker Summit, shut it down, bring it to a maker meetup right here in Grand Rapids, set it back up, and demonstrate it for people seeing it for the first time. So I got to see that spark in people's eyes, seeing the Eufy for the first time, and I got to get hands on. I got to do it, and now with these delays, I'm definitely feeling it. I'm feeling pretty disappointed right now in the Eufy. I definitely a lot of the wind is out of my sails as far as the Eufy goes. We have not gotten our unit, and no ink. All I have is all the accessories that we ordered and everything, but no printer and no ink. Hey Daniel, do you have a jig for the Monarch Pine stainless money clips? That is a good question. Bummer, no Eufy. Yeah, very disappointed. Eat the frog. I'll have to check that out. I don't know what happens if I click that link. I'll have to look at it after. So what else you guys got going on this week? What frogs do you guys need to eat? My list, I've got the graphics that I'm trying to finish for the Michigan Maker Summit. We've got to get all the vendors on a flyer. I've got to get all the speakers on a flyer so we can really start publicizing it. We've got another segment on Fox 17 coming up. We are working on NBC Wood TV here in Grand Rapids. Working on going on TV with them to promote the Michigan Maker Summit. I'm doing a radio spot, 2 radio spots. One's going to be local in Greenville, and the other one is going to be in Grand Rapids to promote the Michigan Maker Summit. I want this thing to be packed. I want us to be able to come together and really come out of that thing fired up, getting some hands-on with some new equipment and a new wind in your sails, having some good direction for your business. Yeah, Beth said she's glad she backed out at the last minute with the Eufy. Love your Eufy, have turned out quite a few jobs. That's awesome, Greg. Greg, I don't know if you know, but I got hands-on with it a ton. I got to spend a lot of time with the Eufy. I loved it. I feel a little bit disappointed. I've done other Kickstarters, so the delays really haven't bothered me at all. I think just the current status of everything, I feel like a lack of communication. I feel like issues with collection tanks. That's really what's kind of disappointed me lately, and I feel like the lack of response. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with that, unfortunately. Do you recommend running a test grid for the leatherette keychains? Anita, if I do not want you to waste a keychain to run a test grid. If you place an order, let me know and I will add in some leatherette for you to run a test grid on. I really don't want you to waste a keychain on a test grid. I know maybe it's counterproductive from what I just said earlier, but I would rather send you some leatherette to get your settings dialed in on because I don't want you to waste a koozie. I don't want you to waste a keychain. Now, I know you get a 10 pack, but just let me know. If you place an order, I will add in a piece of leatherette for you to get your settings dialed in. I agree. I probably would have been the same if I were not part of the 200. What else? So, but most of all, you need it too. Just reach out in the group. Tons of people got 50-watt fiber lasers, and they're going to have a ton of information for you guys. One more time, while we are live only, I'll probably turn it off like 15, 20 minutes after we get off. Flag clips are 50% off during the live only. The flag clips are awesome. They get a ton of attention, and I think they're going to be a great. You don't have to engrave anything on them. You can if you want to, but you don't need to. You can just be a quick, easy add-on if you're selling hats. Yeah, one year delay is a lot. Thank you, Anita. I'm glad you feel comfortable asking some of those questions here. I know it can be intimidating to ask some of those questions, but I definitely my goal with Great Lakes Laser Supply from day one has been to have a nice, safe environment where people can ask difficult questions. I don't want anybody to ever feel like the question they're asking is too simple or too small. Thank you again, Heidi. I'll hit it on it one more time. If you guys are anywhere near Michigan, I think if you're within 2.5, 3 hours, I think you should come to the Michigan Maker Summit. It is going to be an awesome, awesome conference. It's a mini conference. It's going to be a good get together, connecting with local makers, connecting with vendors. I added Friday night this year. So from 5 to 8 p.m., you're going to be able to come in the vendor room, have some appetizers, get to meet the vendors and suppliers, get hands on with that equipment, see how it works, and figuring out if it's something that you want to add to your business, or maybe you have that equipment already and you just want to learn a little bit about it. There are some great groups out there. Blake's was one of them. Thank you, Beth. I really do appreciate that. I know there is a ton of Facebook groups out there, and you guys have a lot of options, and I appreciate you all being here and watching and interacting and engaging. I genuinely enjoy this time and chatting with you guys, the questions I get throughout the day. I love talking with you guys and doing what we can. This year will be my first time for a booth, Michigan Makers and Next Level. Oh, both Michigan. That's awesome. Jeff, I can't wait to see you. Have we met before, Jeff? You love the idea of a smaller event. What's up, David? David Brown in the house. I haven't talked about it a ton right now if you guys don't know, but the breakouts at the Michigan Maker Summit, they're small, they're intimate. I want it to be a small group, 15, no more than 20 people in these classrooms. You've got a 65-inch TV displaying what the speaker is teaching. You've got the speaker right there in a classroom with you where you can ask questions. It is going to be hands-on. Part of the speaker application, they had to talk about how they were going to make their thing a hands-on experience. Okay, we did hang out at AAPA. Okay. I apologize. I I struggle to put names and faces together sometimes when I meet so many at the same time. Join your YouTube for more education and tutorials. But so that's going to be a big thing at the Michigan Maker Summit. No matter which breakout you go to, it has to be interactive. It's got to be something there for you to get hands-on and learn with. I didn't want it to be something where people are just sitting in the back scrolling on TikTok, forcing, having to pick one of the breakouts. I want a breakout to be something that you genuinely want to learn, want to see, and learn more about. Rumor has it I'll be at Michigan Maker Summit, but we are getting the logistics worked out. That's exciting, Beth. That's awesome. Do you guys have any other topics you want to talk about? Any questions, concerns, or other? I am not going to APA. I would love to go. See you later, Tracy. Thanks for being here, brother. I would love to go to APA. We just got way too much going on. We are just in a very pivotal stage of Great Lakes Laser Supply. We've got our office, the demo room. We've got so many things going on. I don't want to interrupt what we have right now to go to the APA. I would love to. The networking and the people that I met last year was awesome. We crashed an NFL party last year, and I would love to do that again. But no APA, unfortunately. We got too much going on. Any other questions, concerns, or other? Don't be afraid if you're watching this after the fact. Don't be afraid to comment. I love watching these videos for days after because people are still commenting, interacting with each other, answering questions. So throw some stuff in the comments, even if you're watching after the fact. Yeah. If you guys haven't seen David's post from today, he has a post where he is giving away some of his what's the word he used? Not mistakes. What word did David use? Misfits. Go check out David's Misfits. He also has a post in Creative Cut Supplies. Check out that post. Comment on that post. He's giving away some Misfits. It's a great way to get hands-on with some wood. Save a little bit of money. Figure out if something is like that. It's something that you want to add to your lineup. But go to creativecutSupplies.com to check out David's Misfits. He also has a post in his group where he's giving away some of those Misfits. So go in that post, comment Misfits. Also throw in there that you heard about it from Blake, so I get some extra credit. David and I are going to be shooting some David versus Blake content on Friday. It's going to be a good time. We are getting the ball rolling for davidversusblake.com, getting ready for the Next Level Laser Conference. If you guys haven't heard about the Next Level Laser Conference, you definitely want to check that out as well. David and I will be there. We're going to be fighting the whole way. We got some fun things planned. You guys are going to have a good time. Don't forget MichiganMakerSummit.com, Michigan Maker Summit Facebook group, and GreatLakesLaserSupply.com for those 50% off flag hat clips for maybe 15 or 20 minutes after this is done. I'll go till 10 p.m. and then I will turn that off. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate every one of you. Genuinely, I know I said it earlier. I helped somebody out of the ditch today, and it was somebody from the group that I'd never met before. Just crazy how things happen. I feel blessed beyond belief for every one of you that's here, that's watching, interacting, commenting. I appreciate all of you. And thank you for being here. Have a good night and make good choices, and vote for Blake. Okay. Do not vote for David. We don't need to vote for David. Have a good night, guys.